Greensburg City Council to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lord, for these men and women that you gathered here today to make the decisions for this wonderful city. Lord, lay your hand on the election process tomorrow and get the people in here that you chose. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Roll call. Councilman Troll and Reeves are absent tonight, but we still have a quorum, so we will proceed with business. First up is the approval of tonight's agenda. We do have one addition to the agenda that was not sent out on Friday. It's a C&D license for the Quick Pick to add to our consent agenda.
Move to accept the consent agenda with that addition.
No.
Second.
It's been moved second to approve our agenda tonight with the one addition. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Citizen comments. Hearing no citizen comments tonight, we will move on to our consent agenda, which includes the approval of our October 20th minutes, appropriation ordinance 1303, and that CMB license for Quick Pick.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda approved. All right. We have a lonely item of business tonight, but it is a big one. It's time to review our 2026 employee benefits and health insurance. So
I'll just turn it over to Rhonda. She left you all a packet on your desk there.
Hi.
How's everyone?
Fine.
Good, good. We'll start in this book with the blue on it, says City of Greensburg. We're going to go through the three products here that the city contributes to for your employees on the employee benefit side. If you'll flip with me to page 1, you'll see at the top, it's our Aetna Funding Advantage Plan. If you remember last year, we went to a level funded plan with Aetna, which came in more competitive than Blue Cross and Blue Shield. When we did that, we also went to a 4-tier rate structure. So it is not age-rated any longer, which is nice. That way, if you have a new hire, you can tell them exactly what the cost is if they're coming in. So Aetna has, we've had very little noise, I think, on the change as far as that goes. So I haven't had any negative comments from anyone that I've ran into. I think it's been working pretty well. You'll go right with me down to page 2. You'll see our current medical cost grid there at the top. You'll go across to your employee, employee spouse, employee child, and family premiums. You'll see what those are. Again, this is the full premium, including contributions from your employees and the city. Our total for the year was $8,414.96. Our claims are running pretty well this year. We are falling into right below that what our renewal is. You can see it's going up about 8%. We're going from 703 to 757, from 1422 to 1552, 1335 to 1457, 2205 to 2419. So right below that, Stacy put together kind of a little information here that we've added on here, showing what portion the city is paying and the employees are paying. You'll see what the current plan is, and the 80% that the city is contributing, and then the 20% that the employees are contributing. If you'll follow right down on the current plan, you'll see the monthly total for the city is $6,731, and the employees $1,682.99. The exposure for the city is the $80,783, which is annualizing that 80%. You'll go across to 2026. You'll see that The premiums are going from $6,731 to $7,317. And the employee contributions are going from $1,682 to $1,829, or an overall change of $732 for the monthly total, and then for the annual total, $8,000. So we're looking at 109 versus 100,000 for our total. Again, breaking those two down on what the city is contributing and the employees are contributing. And if you'll go right back above there on that last side, you'll see the employees going up $10.90, $26.17 on employee spouse, $24.34 on children, and $42.82 on family per month. And I believe you take that out twice a month.
Correct.
So, again, pre-tax, so shouldn't be much difference out of their pocket by the time it comes out pre-tax, which is positive. So I think we made a good move last year. If you'll flip to the next page, you'll see kind of our recorded claims summary page here. As if you remember, if we have a good year, there's a chance gain for the city, getting back some money. And at this point in time, if you'll look across, claims that have applied to the stop loss or in our level funded, there's $2,330. And applied to our aggregate stop loss, $12,480. This is what we have a chance gain of. If you'll look at right below that, our estimated aggregate stop loss amount is $49,000, and the remaining is $36,000. So less that what they're thinking is out there, kind of those incurred but not reported claims, we have a chance gain as of today. The $12,480 will come back to the city in March sometime. Now, we also have November and December claims that are not in here. So that could change things. But depending on what happens, we do have that chance gain at this point. That money would come back to the city, and I highly recommend putting it in an interest-bearing account, starting to build up money to help offset increases in the future, or changing our plan as needed. And I know, Matt, you can kind of speak to how that kind of works with building that reserve to help offset some of those costs. You can let it build for a while, but if, for instance, if we have a year, maybe we have a 5% increase, maybe we can take 2% of that to offset that, some of those kinds of things. I think we've done some of that Matt's helped me work on in the past. So the report on page 5 is just one that I get, take a look at every month. It just goes through every month what your admin fee is, what your stop loss or your level funding amount is. That's the money that goes towards each of these columns. Your reserves, what they're putting in there of every dollar that you put in, goes clear across to tell you again, what the medical claims are, that kind of thing towards the end there. So this is where our numbers come from to build that report prior to this. So again, we've had a pretty good year. I think we had a few bumps on the prescription that first month, just with the transition from the blue plan over. But I can honestly say I haven't had a call from anybody. And when I have a transition, that never happens. So that was a gift to me. And I think, again, a few things that have come up, Stacy and Christy have kind of walked people through a couple things that we talked about with our person at Aetna that might happen, and we're able to kind of get some of those things worked out. They do provide us a few other reports. You can see on page 6. Again, your group's really small, so we can't get a lot of detail, but we do know a little bit about your generic prescription drugs. There at the very first section. The Aetna BOB is their book of business and how you compare. And you can see, for instance, on the pharmacy paid eligible member, you're lower than their book of business. At the 189 and per member at 216 versus the 295. A little bit up on the cost per claim. But other than that, you're running pretty close to their book of business, but still a little bit under on some areas. On your brand names down below, current paid claims, the 6,400, and you can see again comparing that to their book of business as you go through. You guys are lower on every category than the book of business with Aetna. Your about a 13.8% utilization. Their book of business is 15.7, which is really good for prescription drugs. If you go ahead and flip over to the next page, you'll see a little bit about demographics of your group. And again, just comparing male and female, you're kind of in reverse of, you're higher on the female or male members, and their book of business is lower a little bit. And the female members, you are just a little bit lower than the book of business, so it's kind of flip-flop there. So again, just a little bit of information on page 8, just the facility utilization. Again, your professional services, you just haven't had a lot of claims at all, through this point in time. And then your ancillary products down at the bottom, $424 is about all that they will share with us on claims, other than the report that kind of gives us that total up above. So that's where we are on the medical side. Any questions? Okay, much better than our conversations last year. On page 9, we start with our Mutual of Omaha. If you'll flip to page 11, the city does cover a life insurance policy for your employees. It is a $20,000 policy. There is no rate change for the 26th plan year. You'll see it's $113 a month, and the renewal is the same. It includes an accidental death and dismemberment clause on it, and that is also no change in the rates. The voluntary life, this is a plan that the employees pay for. It's running $130 a month now, and those rates have not changed for their out-of-pocket, those who are participating in it. Then if you'll follow me to page 14, we do have a short-term disability plan that the employees can choose to participate in. We have 3 people enrolled in that, and there is no rate change on that either. So again, the part that you are covering on the life insurance for the employees and the accidental death and dismemberment, there's no change on that. On page 15, the Delta Dental, the city pays half of a single towards every tier on the dental. You do have 7 people enrolled, so you have really good participation in the city for that. Delta, you're in a pool, so very little change every year. You can see that it went, the percent of change is 2.84%. The monthly premium is going from $252 to $259, so barely any change there. And again, you cover 50% of that $28.07, so towards each tier. So overall, we have had a pretty clean year. We'll have more reporting as soon as I get information. We'll let you know where we're at. We'll pull that claims report at the end of the year and have that kind of ready to compare where we ended. That way I can see what came in after the end, those incurred but not reported claims. So we kind of know what that percentage of possible run out is. And according to Aetna, they'll clean everything up by the end of February, and sometime in March, then if there's any money left, they'll split that 50-50 with you guys, and it will come back to the city. At least we have a chance of putting some money back in your pocket that kind of offsets the renewal at this point and still leaves a chance gain there. So pretty pleased with how that looks. Any questions? Okay, I have our newsletter for you for November. And right in the front, I'm just going to flip through a couple things here. Obviously, Stacy and Christy get this information all the time, just in case there's something they need to take care of. First of all, I know it's only the 3rd, but happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be here before we know it. On the Live Well, Work Well piece, this is one that if there's anything pertinent, Stacy and Christy are welcome to forward that to your whole staff and email it out. Whatever they get, they can share. If they need more information, want to share it with your staff at the city, they can do that. But this month, obviously, it's Thanksgiving, but gratitude is on the Live Well, Work Well piece this month. A sense of happiness and thankfulness is a response to fortunate happiness and tangible or a tangible gift versus the word gratitude, or similar to the appreciation. So just a couple things there. They also put in a recipe. You want to make They've got a little cheat sheet there on that. Take charge of your health. I like this piece because it's just simple things that you don't really have to think too much about doing. Just try to eat a little bit better, stay active, those kinds of things. The Mental Health Minute is probably one of the most read pieces that we send out anymore, according to our tracking. I think it's just a sign of the times and what's happening. Page 6 gives you a little information on the benefits buzz, just again keeping the administrative office abreast of any changes in benefits, what flex limits are. You guys don't have a flex plan or a high deductible health plan, but it's in there for those who will need that this month. Using your health insurance card, I think a lot of people don't realize all of the advantages and things that are on that little tiny card. So I thought that was something that might be good to put in. The Kaiser Family Foundation on page 11, they are expecting health insurance obviously to go up significantly in the next year. Employer-sponsored premiums for 25, the average was $9,325 for single coverage, $26,000 for family. And the premiums are averaging 5 to 6% change. So we won't get into too much bad news since we're running pretty good with your group. On page 14, the HR brief talks a little bit about specialty medications and how chronic conditions, those kinds of things are affecting healthcare plans. The compliance tracker helps keep, again, your office up to date on any things that they need to do to stay in compliance with the ACA. The reporting on ACA on page 16. And again, the very last page just goes through several different companies and how they're projecting rates to change, anywhere from 6.5% to 11% for the 26 plan year. So, not as much gloom and doom as I had last year.
Questions for Rhonda?
Well, I appreciate your time and the nice weather. Thank you.
Thanks, Rhonda. All council, pending any further discussion, the action before us would most likely be to approve the renewal of more or less our existing benefit packages for our employees with the cost changes as discussed by Rhonda.
Move to approve as presented.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the proposed renewals of our employee benefit packages. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, that does it for items of business, so we'll move on to city staff reports. Stacy.
This Friday, I will attend KPP's annual rate forum in Wichita at their offices, where they will go over proposed 2026 rates and projections for those. Then those will be presented to the KPP membership at the annual meeting in December. So this will be the first look at what those proposed rates that will be presented for approval then. Two of our public works employees have drove around town last week and taken an inventory of street signs that are faded or missing, and have given me a list of what we need to buy. And it's a pretty long list of street signs, but we're working through that. I will be placing an order, and then we'll see them going out and taking care of those. And then we're also going to order some extras to have on hand for replacement as need be. Last week I spoke with Hefts, and they do plan to do the street ceiling project here this week or next. So look for that to be happening soon. And I did attach a map to my report, so you can have a reminder of what streets will be done on this EFOG project this time. The Pace Solar project is slated to start construction in December and then be in operation by early summer next year. So after a long time of planning and things going on with that, hopefully we'll be seeing some construction on that soon. Next week I'll have a virtual meeting with PEC to discuss the next steps on the sidewalk project. As you remember, they were here 6 weeks ago or so and did the surveying work, and we'll be talking about the next steps for that design. And the airport utility project is finishing up. The water well is pretty much done, and they need to run power and make water line connections there, finish grading and clean up. The electrician is supposed to be on site this week, and the contractor waiting for materials to finish the work inside the house building. So the finish line is near on that project, which is exciting. And just a reminder, tomorrow is Election Day, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and our polling place is at the community building at the fairgrounds. And we do have 3 council positions up for election, and can go visit Christy, who will be serving out there to help with the election.
It's a long day.
Yes. So take snacks to them. It's a long day.
6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah,
At least.
at least. That's all I got.
Any questions for Stacy? Hearing none, we'll move on to governing body comments. Just speaking of the election, just want to thank everyone who has put their name in the ring for our various local offices that are on the ballot this year, whether that's city council or school board, hospital board. Just thank anyone who's shown an interest in serving their community. So thanks for doing that, and also thanks to all the election workers who helped put that on. I know it's not easy, it's a long day, and we wouldn't have those nice democratic elections without those. So thanks, Christy, and all our other volunteers. Hearing no other governing body comments, we are at the end of our agenda today. So we will